Now, Israel has confirmed the killing of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar in Gaza. The United States has applauded the operation, calling it a very significant achievement for Israel, the United States, and much needed for global stability. While Iran is mourning the death of Hamas chief, global leaders are also hailing Iran's operation through which they have been able to eliminate Sinwar. Watch this detailed report.
An Israel Defense Forces drone captures a bombed out building in southern Gaza Strip. The first-person view drone that enters the first floor window of the destroyed building. It moves from one room to another. There is only dust and rubble everywhere. And then it stops to focus on 3 red sofas that have turned grey in the aftermath of the Israel attack. On the left, a shadowy figure emerges. Its face is covered. His right hand is resting on the arm of the sofa, but the forearm has been blown off. The man is Yahya Sinwar, the political chief of Hamas. As the drone gets closer, it becomes clear that Sinwar, who has clearly been hit in the shelling, is holding a stick in his hand. As the Israel drone approaches him, he flings it over his head at it. The stick misses its target, but the Israel Defense Forces did not.
Yahya Sinwar hid in the place where our forces were attacking for a long time. We did not know he was there, but we continued to act with determination. Our forces identified 3 terrorists fleeing from house to house, running. The forces who were in the area attacked the terrorist who split up after being shot at. Yahya Sinwar ran away alone to one of the buildings.
This is how Yahya Sinwar met his end. The operation was reportedly a routine raid that caught Sinwar by chance. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared the score with Sinwar was settled. But this isn't the end of war in Gaza.
Yahya Sinwar is dead. He was killed in Rafah by the brave soldiers of the Israel Defense Forces. While this is not the end of the war in Gaza, it's the beginning of the end. To the people of Gaza, I have a simple message. This war can end tomorrow. It can end if Hamas lays down its arms and returns our hostages.
The United States applauded the operation, with President Biden personally congratulating Netanyahu.
Now's the time to move on. Move on, move toward a ceasefire in Gaza. Ensure that we move in the direction that we're going to be in a position to make things better for the whole world. It's time for this war to end and bring these hostages home.
The Pentagon clarified that the U.S. played no direct role in the operation, but had provided intelligence and tracking support.
This was an Israeli operation. U.S. forces were not directly involved. We've been sharing information and intelligence in support of hostage recovery efforts and the tracking of these leaders who have been holding hostages, to include Americans. And so, in so much as it's helped to inform Israeli operations in general, writ large, certainly it has played a role.
Iran, a longtime supporter of Hamas, mourned Sinwar's death, hailing the Hamas chief as a martyr. Sinwar, who rose to leadership after the death of Ismail Haniyeh in July, has been a key figure in Hamas's operations, who masterminded and orchestrated the October 7 attack, which ignited the West Asia war. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, it was on the 17th of October that Israel added another feather in its cap, the killing of Yahya Sinwar, who was the chief of Hamas and the successor of Ismail Haniyeh. Yahya's elimination was not anticipated by the Israeli Defense Forces, and it actually happened just by chance. His death, however, now has left a big void in Hamas's leadership. Watch this report with all the details that you need to understand how Israel now is making sure that they eliminate Hamas one by one.
The body of Hamas's lone standing leader, battered and bruised. Yahya Sinwar, notoriously known as the Butcher, was killed in an Israeli operation in Gaza. This is the moment when an Israeli airstrike hit the building Sinwar and his accomplices were hiding in. But this wasn't an elimination that Israel anticipated. It began when a group of commanders were on a patrol in southern Gaza. The soldiers stumbled upon a small group of Hamas terrorists. Backed by drones, Israel soldiers engaged in a firefight which brought down part of the building where the terrorists took shelter. When the dust cleared, a search operation led to the recovery of 3 dead Hamas terrorists. Among them was none other than Yahya Sinwar. But Israel was unsure. Soldiers suspected the body was booby-trapped. Once identified, money and weaponry was found on Yahya's body.
During the scans, after the destruction of the terrorists, we recognized that one of the terrorists we eliminated is a master murderer, Yahya Sinwar, which is the closing of a circle for me as a commander and for my group.
Sinwar's death signals a complete wipeout of Hamas leadership and a victory for Israel's war against the terror group. But it's not over till the hostages are back.
To the people of Gaza, I have a simple message. This war can end tomorrow. It can end if Hamas lays down its arms and returns our hostages. Hamas is holding 101 hostages in Gaza, who are citizens of 23 countries, citizens of Israel, but citizens of many other countries. Israel is committed to doing everything in our power to bring all of them home.
Is a bigger escalation looming in the West Asia war? Bureau Report, India Today.